And we're off. Hi, kids. Nick DiPaolo podcast. How you is? If you can hear chainsaws in the background, that's my neighbor cutting up trees. Or his wife. I don't know. I know he drinks like a fish, so it could get ugly over there sometimes. We hear it from across the woods. But there might be a murder being committed as I do the show. How are you? Pretty good? Good. Happy what is it, Indigenous Peoples Day or something like that? It used to be Columbus Day, but the fucking leftist fucks get their claws into rewrite history. And I don't know, people reading history books, I'd say, 50 years from now, won't even know how this country came about. But that's why we have to stop murdering far leftists. Yeah, let's get it on. What the fuck? It is Columbus Day in my house. And, yeah, we do this every year because it's a big day for me because, I'm half Italian. People are surprised when they hear that. They're like, half Italian? You look like a full-blooded guinea to me. I do. I look like a piece of roasted garlic. But my mother's French-Canadian and English. Bet you didn't know that, huh? But anyways, Columbus Day, we always get a kick out of this on the show because that was my big scene on The Sopranos. You remember the big episode? It was called Christopher. Season 4, episode 3, or vice versa. I don't know. But, the Native Americans were protesting the Columbus Day parade. You remember the episode. Well, here's a little setup for you. This is the first of 2 clips.
Some fucking balls bad-mouthing America, especially now.
I thought Columbus was the hero of America.
Oh, see, it's these Indians and the commie fucks. They want to paint Columbus as a slave trader instead of an explorer.
You gotta admit, they did get massacred, the Indians.
It's not like we didn't give them a bunch of shit to make up for that.
Land, reservations.
And now they got the casinos.
The fuck we ever get we didn't have to work our balls off for? I wouldn't mind sitting on my ass all day, smoking mushrooms and collecting government checks.
You know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. It's anti-Italian discrimination. Columbus Day is a day of Italian pride. It's our holiday, and they want to take it away.
Yeah, that's true. All of that's true. But that's how countries came about, folks. I love how the, people on the left just focus like this is the only place where there was slavery and, murders and genocide committed in the name of finding a country, settling it. It's so hilarious. It's all they focus on. Nothing else went on the planet, according to them. But that just cracks me up. It's anti-Italian discrimination. Stevie Van Zandt just fucking, just cracks me up. And, yeah, I'll be forever grateful for getting on the best show in the history of television, even if it was a couple lines. Well, here's my big scene. People always, on Twitter, they put up pictures of this, usually today. But here's me yelling, break it up, and,
These woods, the highway will swarm with the invisible dead of our people. The white man will never be alone.
This is Newark, baby. We don't play that shit. That better not be Columbus. Take it down.
He's going to burn the way our ancestors did.
Go sit down, cupcake.
We're not taking anything then.
I'm gonna fucking hand you up there.
We will make arrests.
What the fuck is this, Joey?
They get a permit, Sil. Everybody, come on, let's go. Everybody.
I'll remember this, Joe.
I said everybody. Nobody's listening to me. Oh, yeah. So, but there's a lot of, every year, more and more cities changing it from Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day. It's just fucking hilarious to me, the whitewashing. Hey, if you guys that hate the country so much and how it was founded, why are you going to whitewash it? How are you going to be able to teach your children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren what racist fucks, the founding fathers and, Columbus, and how are you going to teach your kids all that hate for this country if you whitewash it? You got to leave it be, don't you, dickheads? Sure you do. More cities are recognizing Native Americans on Columbus Day this year as they revive a movement to change the name of the holiday. It's a fucking bowel movement to celebrate the history and contributions of indigenous cultures around the country. As the U.S. observes Columbus Day on Monday, it'll also be Indigenous Peoples Day in at least 9 cities for the first time this year. Well, congratulations. Albuquerque. It's always the fucking out west, stupid fucks. Portland. It'll be Portland, Oregon. St. Paul, Minnesota. Again, I love Minneapolis. Maybe St. Paul, I don't. Olympia, Washington, Encouraged by city council votes in Minneapolis and Seattle last year, Native American activists made a push in dozens of cities in recent months to get local leaders to officially recognize the second Monday of October as Indigenous Peoples Day. Why don't you do it, I don't know, pick a day in February. I don't know. Too late. The campaigns say the federal holiday honoring Christopher Columbus and the parades and pageantry accompanying it, overlook a painful history of colonialism, enslavement, discrimination, and land grabs that followed the Italian explorers' 1492 arrival in the Americas. The indigenous holiday takes into account the history and contributions of Native Americans for a more accurate historical record, activists have argued. Okay, put it down on record. Who gives a rat's tits? Go ahead. Columbus Day supporters say that the holiday celebrates centuries of cultural exchange between America and Europe, commemorates an iconic explorer, and honors Italian Americans, a group that has endured its own share of discrimination. It's the Italian discrimination. Discrimination. It's discrimination. Yeah, I mean, as an Italian kid growing up, I faced discrimination. They wouldn't let me wear a purple open dress shirt to school. It was too guinea-like with a big life-size cross on my chest. What are they? I mean, how much time do you have on your fucking hands, people, that push for these things? You're going to be dead by the time they catch on. Let's just, all right, give them that, and we'll just come up with another one. Just Greasy Italian Day, where it has nothing to do with Columbus. Just, we only fucking built it, did anything you see built of brick and rock and stone and marble and wood from 1900 on was done by Italians. We'll do that. Pizza, calzones. We'll give them that, and we'll take the, the greasy Italian stuff that people love us for. Godfather, movies, Goodfellas, Paterno. Paterno, didn't he fuck kids? No, he didn't. Stop with that horseshit. South Dakota renamed Columbus Day to Native American Day back in 1990. And it's been an official state holiday ever since. Berkeley, California has observed Indigenous Peoples Day since 1992. Somebody ought to blow up that fucking shithole, Berkeley. Nothing good ever came out of there. So that's the dealio. So, to you 4 Native Americans that are left, happy Indigenous Peoples Day. And to you greaseballs in the Bronx, happy Columbus Day. Now that we got that out of the way, that silliness. I get back, me and the wife took like a mini vacation. The pressures of marriage and cheating and drug abuse. No, I'm kidding. We just split. We went up to... I'm like, just find some place upstate. She comes back with a trip to some Finger Lake. Lake Owasco. You guys familiar with that? That's the 5th biggest of the 11 Finger Lakes, apparently. It was nice. About 4 hours north of where I am in northern Westchester. With the Waze app plugged in, it took me an hour and a half. I averaged 171. About 4 hours. 240 something fucking miles. Found this nice house right on a lake. Lake of Water, this beautiful friggin' lake. I mean, just it really is stunning upstate New York this time of year. And can you hear the chainsaws? I can hear my neighbors screaming. Yeah, so we went up there. Beautiful house right on the lake. I've never seen cleaner water. Apparently, these lakes, they provide water for the whole state, some of them. Or the surrounding areas, at least. I know that much. But unbelievable. I'm looking at the rocks, like 5 feet underwater, and they don't even have dirt on them. It was like frighteningly clean. And, yeah, we just, this house, we walk into the house, and this guy, apparently this woman who owns the house, her dad, who has passed away since, was a big hunter. So there was all kinds of big game, not big game, but deer heads and fucking elk and moose. And a full-size brown bear, stuffed, that was, he had it up, these stairs went up to this loft, and this full-size fucking, like a bear he shot in Kodiak, Alaska back at 85 or something. He had it stuffed, and it's kind of creepy laying there at night with all these dead animals staring at you. My wife was freaking out. I kept pushing her towards this. They had a bear hanging, like a, spread eagle, just completely gutted, hanging, with its face like an inch from the door when you come. I kept pushing my wife's face towards it and making her cry. No, I didn't do that. Well, I did a couple times. But yeah, this guy must have been, I don't know how you shoot shit like that. Again, when I was younger, I'd kill pheasants and pigeons and shit, but I don't know. You see these, I don't know how you, I don't know. I can appreciate it, though. God, if I was a hunter, I would have been out there. The weather was so fucking awesome. But here's the thing. It could have been a perfect 4 days or whatever. But the house had like a tin roof. I mean, this was like a nice house. Not like a dumpy little cottage. It had a metal roof on it. And the goddamn, they're not acorns. They were bigger than acorns. They were like the size of walnuts. I don't know what the fuck. They would fall all night onto the roofs, and I mean make a bang like somebody with a bat smacking it, and then they would roll down the roof, and her water heater would kick on, and it sounded like two fat guys wrestling in an empty tank, just like this, boom, bang, bang, and me and my fucking wife were just going, what the fuck? It was just, next day we were like zombies just sitting there, and it was, so that was a little fucking irritating, But my wife, she does all the, if it's me, I just lay there. I'd lay there and I watch, just like I would at home. I'd watch 8 college games or whatever. But she, she's the planner. She drags me out to the Harriet Tubman house where, the abolitionist, the famous abolitionist. She died around 1913. I'm talking about the Underground Railroad. And, yeah, I appreciate she was something else, But, I mean, come on, guys, my politics. It's like, Jesus Christ, really, honey? And so she drags me out to the Harriet Tubman house, and it's one of those, you pay, you pay to go in, and then there's a fucking, you sit down in chairs, and this nice black gentleman gives a 1-hour speech on Harriet Tubman, and the day we were there, it was a bunch of homeschooled kids, and not just all homeschooled, but it looked like a field trip of kids. I don't know. But so he's giving this 1-hour speech, and he's asking these questions, and he made clear that the adults are not supposed to answer. And so he'd be like, does anybody know Harriet Tubman's real name? And I lean over to my wife, I go, Taniqua? So everybody could hear, and you hear snickering. Some people give me dirty looks, and her nickname was Minty, apparently. And I'm like, well, that makes sense. They, with the cool cigarettes in the middle. And, my wife, I have black and blues on my right shoulder. My wife was punching me during the whole thing. And, but what was scary, every time he asked a question, these little kids, they couldn't have been more than 8 or 10. They knew the answers to all of them because they've had this stuff shoved down their face, whether it's homeschooling or regular schools. Just, memorized. Just, you can tell. And I know damn well if you asked them who the first president of the United States, they would have no fucking clue. I'm telling you. Just everything. What did Harriet Tubman's, what size shoe? 9.5. Kid like 4 years old, blonde hair, blue. 9.5. And she was also a nurse and a scout. Very good, Jim. And we'd have to clap every time the kids answered a question. And then he asked a question. He goes, does anybody know what, apparently she used to play a game called Pig in a Bag. And the guy's like, does anybody know what pig in a bag is? And I lean over to my wife, and again, I said it a little too loud. I go, isn't that Black Lives Matter's newest slogan? Punch to the shoulder. Quiet. Fucking guys give me a dirty look. And pig, what pig in a bag was Harriet Tubman when she was little? She had her brothers and sisters. She'd pick her brother up and dump him in like a burlap bag upside down and spin him around till he started squealing like a pig. Sounds kind of like... That'll be fucking bullying today. You try that shit. That'll be bullying. But I mean, come on. She was quite a woman. She did a lot of shit. She escaped. She was born in Maryland. She escaped. And then went back and got her family members and at Harper's Ferry she freed a bunch of people, and you can tell I was half paying attention. But it's unbelievable. She was hit in the head with a 2-pound weight. Of course, these little white kids knew that. I'm like, what the fuck? How did they know that? Some slave owner threw a weight at another slave and missed and hit her in the head. So she had like seizures and shit the rest of her life. But what a ballsy lady. So she started the whole underground railroad thing, which were actually houses weren't underground. They were, you know, my sister has a house in Andover, Mass. She just sold it, by the way. But it was part of the Underground Railroad. And I said, I'm not coming to Thanksgiving there. Just busting balls. My family thought that was really funny. But, yeah, so I learned shit, and the guy was great. The guy speaking, I don't know how he kept that fresh, but I asked him, I go, how many times have you said that to me? He goes, 6 to 7 times a day, 5 days a week for the last 3 years or some shit. But he was really good. He kept it kind of interesting. Okay. Yeah, so Harriet Tubman. And then, of course, we went into her house and looked at it's like, okay, I get it. I've been into a few houses that were built before 1950. They're small and they have shitty appliances. Can we move on? Jesus H. And here's where they cooked a turkey in the... I'll go to my wife. I'm going to go up front and I'll be on the lawn. And, yeah, we got a little history in. And then it's up by Auburn, New York, and which is also where Millard Fillmore, our 13th president, I think it was, he was born up there. And we had to go see his house. And Jesus H. Christ. Guy, like, nobody even respects this guy. He's one of the worst presidents ever. I think he was Zach Taylor's... I was half listening again to the whole speech and shit. I think he was Zach Taylor's vice president. Zach Taylor came down with a stomach flu, and his doctors gave him, like, mercury and shit and ended up killing him by accident. And that's how Millard Fillmore, what a horrendous fucking name, Millard. Millie, you big girl. Hey, Millie, want to be president? So he became president, and we saw the little log cabin. I'm always, when they're giving these speeches and shit, like even with the Harriet Tubman thing, and then she said to her slave master, I don't like these arrangements, and ran away. How do you fucking know? And that goes for anything, whether it's Columbus or... I love how we give blow-by-blow accounts. People can't even tell me what happened in the Mets game last night, but I'm supposed to believe, and same, that goes with the Bible and all that shit. I'm supposed to believe, exactly what happened. These stories are handed down and twisted over the years, and... But, yeah, Millard Fillmore. The good thing about the Millard Fillmore thing was they have a whole, like, national park dedicated to him or whatever. And we got to go hiking in this fucking unbelievable gorge. I don't even know the name of it. But it was part of this little state park for him, dedicated to him. And it was this gorge. It was like a 5-mile hike up and down. And with bridge, foot bridges crossing this gorge. Like there were 9 different bridges. You know, every couple hundred yards would be like a wooden bridge that would take you from the right side of the gorge. And I'm talking if you fell, you're dead. They had fence up, thank God, in some areas. But I'm talking like a 2,000 foot drop. It looked like. I don't know. Don't Google that shit. But so it would take you from the left side, from the right side of the gorge to the left, and then you'd hike some more for like another 5-10 minutes, and then there'd be a footbridge taking you back to the other side, zigging and zagging, and this time it was really stunning, and just quiet, but you know what pissed me off? I mean, it's the most beautiful country, and it's just a natural, you know, Mother Nature, a beautiful gorge, and then you'd see like a 7-Up bottle. Fucking bag, a Doritos bag. Kind of motherless fucks would do throw shit. How do you? I don't even throw shit out on the highway if I'm in Detroit. How do you? You know? Oh, look at that beautiful tree. It must be 600 years old. Let me just fucking toss this Diet Coke can at the base of it. I'd like to catch somebody doing that and fucking throw them in the gorge. Motherless fucks. Anyways. Yeah, so it was kind of cool, that hiking. About 95 minute hike. Up and down, get a nice workout in. Luckily, I was wearing dress pants and dress shoes. And a nice, no. I had Timberland work boots on. Yeah, there's an urban hiker for you, huh? Things weigh 11 pounds each, steel-toed tips. Just walking on level ground, it's hard to do. I'm going up these fucking hills. And then my wife had a little panic attack. She has these panic attacks once in a while. She started to freak out in the woods. I was going to run, but I was afraid I'd get lost, so I stayed with her and comforted her like a good husband. But, yeah, so it was kind of an interesting. And we were going to stay till like Sunday, and then we woke up for like the third morning in a row, just totally exhausted from the sound like a steel drums on the fucking roof. And I look at my wife and I go, would you mind if we blew town? Before I could even finish the sentence, she's packing shit. But it was beautiful. I would go up there. I would suggest it. I would just suggest maybe Velcro roofs. Look for Velcro if you're going to book a house on that lake. But absolutely friggin' gorgeous. We also went to the William Seward House. And, you know, he was a former governor and senator of the state of New York, and he lost to Lincoln. They were close friends. I think Lincoln made him a Secretary of State, if I have that right. We looked at his house, and kind of interesting. I have the attention span of a crack baby, so, you know, I got a guy in his late 80s taking us around the house, and people are fascinated at the fucking china they ate on, and I'm staring out the window at some girl with big ass walking in the parking lot. I'm like, oh, yeah. What, did you say something? Yeah, so it was a it was a Finger Lakes history lesson. William Seward, yeah, they try to have him. He was Secretary of State, I believe. Lincoln, he lost to Lincoln, then Lincoln made him Secretary of State. And the night they try to kill Lincoln, they try to kill him too. And his brother got involved. A guy busted into the house, cracked his wife over the head, his brother, and shot him. They had the bloody sheets and shit. You know, they still had the original sheets. And these fucking houses are amazing. Just, you know, there's one room they call the library, just like 4 walls of these gorgeous old books and shit. Just wanted to steal stuff. And they had the sheet with his blood on it from the night they tried to kill him. And, you know, I was like, okay, well, it looks like when I picked the scab, when I played football in high school, my sheets look the same. I don't see anybody glassing that up and putting it in the thing. But, you know, and then I'm like, is that really, how do we know that's his blood? You know what I mean? Who the fuck knows? But, so I learned about him. William Seward. And, you know, powerful people, rich people. It was great. They always had kids who were fuck-ups, though, and that was kind of funny, too. But, so that was we got back Saturday. That was that. Don't feel that rested, I gotta be honest with you. And anyways. What the hell else do we do? Yeah, so I come back and I put on the news and I see the House Republicans are that guy McCarthy. Again, I don't want to get into in the weeds on this, but he was going to replace Boehner as the speaker. He was in the process of replacing Boehner. He thought he was going to. And then he makes an announcement a few days ago that he's dropping out. And people are like, what the hell is this about? And some people believe because he wasn't conservative enough, and there's something called the Freedom Caucus, which is like 15 guys, Republicans who are really conservative, and they're the ones that kind of fucked it up, and they couldn't agree. They don't think he had enough votes to become the speaker anyway. All of a sudden he drops out, and you know what that means. Somebody has dirty laundry on him, and sure enough, something comes out about him having a possible an affair, because he's a married, having an affair with some woman, congresswoman from North Carolina, Renee Elmers. Of course, she's denying it. He's denying it. But to drop out so abruptly is kind of odd. But I don't think he was conservative enough anyways. Again, you know me. I want somebody to the right of Mussolini and Genghis Khan. So now they're talking about Paul Ryan, who... very, very smart guy, but he's like a policy wonk, you know? I don't think he's the guy. I don't think his heart's in it, but a lot of people want him. They say he can bridge the gap between the establishment Republicans and the real conservatives. Anyways, that came out of nowhere. Everybody was kind of shocked about that. And we'll see where the hell that goes. By the way, the CNN, the Democrats, I think, are debating tonight, aren't they? That's going to be a fucking... I want you to notice all the diversity on the stage. You got the 90-year-old white Bernie Sanders and the 80-year-old Hillary Clinton and Martin O'Malley, another white guy. And for a party that screams about diversity and shit, where is it? Biden still hasn't decided yet. So, boy, his heart must really be in it, huh? Did you see the clip of him? He goes today, this past weekend. He goes to the reporter, "Get out of my way." And then he did like a quick smile to let you know he was kidding, but you can tell that's really his true colors. I think he's kind of a dick. What the hell else did I want to talk about? Oh, Wolf Blitzer, that angry crowd on CNN, this sham of a reporter. He's still there. And did you see him with Ben Carson, interviewing Ben Carson? Just listen. Just trying to trip him up with race questions and listen how angry Wolf Blitzer gets when he can't pin down Ben Carson, who's a neurosurgeon and 50 times smarter than Wolf Blitzer will ever be. But just listen to the anger and the gotcha when he can't get the gotcha questions, because he's so used to interviewing white liberal idiots, I should say white Republican idiots who cave in. But listen, he's interviewing a black guy, and he's asking him questions about Obama's religion and race. That's another thing I don't see much. I don't see these reporters doing that too, asking liberals about other liberal politicians about other, Democrats. Like, they never ask, like Bernie Sanders, how come Hillary Clinton's not in jail? Shouldn't she be in jail by now? You never hear that shit. But they'll always ask a Republican candidate, what do you think of Trump? He said this, he said that. You think that's really fair? They never pull that shit with, at least it doesn't seem that way. But here's Wolf Blitzer giving Ben Carson the third degree. And again, racial questions, because that's how they make political hay on the left. That's all they have. And it's worked for years, so you can't blame them for going to that fucking well. But listen to how perturbed Wolf Blitzer get when he can't get Ben to answer the way he wants him to answer.
Rupert Murdoch, switching gears, tweeted this, praising you and your wife. I'll put it up on the screen, clearly taking a swipe at President Obama. Ben and Candy Carson, terrific. What about a real black president who can properly address the racial divide and much else? That's a pretty shocking statement. He's now apologized, in effect.
What's so shocking, dickhead?
Pretty ugly.
Well, I know Rupert Murdoch. He's not a racist by any stretch of the imagination. He's just expressing his opinion. I think it's much to do about nothing.
But he's suggesting that President Obama is not a real black president.
He's not. Well, he's black, but he's not a real president.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I believe what he was making reference to was the fact that here was a man who is a black president that the black community was very excited about, who came in and whose policies have not really elevated the black community, has not been beneficial. There's more unemployment, more poverty. And I believe that's what he was really referring to.
You believe the president is a real black president, though, right?
What kind of question is that?
I wouldn't even get into such a conversation.
It's a simple question. Is President Obama a real black president?
Well, he's the president and he's black.
So he's a real black president.
Listen to fucking Wolf getting his little panties in a fucking uproar because he can't get the can't trick this brain surgeon with his stupid semantics. What a dick. Yeah, I would have said he's a black man, and as far as being a president, that's still up in the air. I think he's again, I'd say he did his best work when he's working for Acorn. That would have been the answer. But you hear Wolf getting his panties in an uproar? Ugh. That's right, Wolf, you bitch.
Again, we're dealing with semantics. As you know, I'm the last person who wants to play around with semantics and political correctness. Rupert Murdoch said what he said. He apologized because a lot of people took it the wrong way.
Oh, of course.
I think there's so many more important issues to deal with.
Because there's a whole history of these kinds of accusations, as you well know, of President Obama. Was he born? Do you believe he was born in the United States?
I do believe that.
Do you believe he's a Christian?
He says he is.
But I know he says he is, but do you believe he is?
Don't get
I have to take him at his word.
Why can't you just say he's a Christian if he goes?
Why can't you answer the question the way I thought you'd answer the question, Dr. Carson? Why can't you? Imagine you're trying to take a guy who rose from poverty to become one of the great pediatric neurosurgeon, head of John Hopkins of that department, and trying to make him out just to be an ignorant fucking fool. Well, Blitzer, you are an ass muncher. Shave that beard, you big fucking girl.
The church, he believes in Christ. Why can't you just simply say he's a Christian?
I can simply say that I'll take him at his word.
Okay.
Okay. I guess I'll have to accept that.
I also want you to clarify the issue of a Muslim president in the United States, because there's been a lot.
You hear these questions? How loaded? These are real relevant to what's going on in the world.
Qualifications to becoming president of the United States.
I agree. I have no disagreement with that. And
so explain why you said you don't think there should be a Muslim president.
If you heard the whole conversation, I said previous to that anybody from any background, religious or otherwise, who accepts the values of America and is willing to put our Constitution above their beliefs is fine with me. And then
He did say that. He's clarified that this has happened 3 weeks ago, and they're still harping on it. Just a fucking shameless.
It continued in another vein, bringing up somebody who perhaps did not fit into that category. Well, if they don't fit into that category because of their belief system, and in this case, the assumption being that they are Islamic believers, part of the Islamic belief system, which is a lifestyle, not just a simple religion, includes Sharia. Now, there are components of Sharia that will place any religion that is not the same as theirs in a category of people they call the kafir. You can do anything you want to those people, and you can put them into an inferior position. You can also put women into an inferior position. You can also...
Yeah, but Ben, aren't you Islamophobic? Aren't you a racist, Ben?
No,
you're hitting me with facts here. I can't handle them facts. This is not what we want at CNN.
Or people caught in adultery and a host of other things. These things are not compatible with our Constitution. If somebody can show me how they are compatible, I'll change my mind.
But if a Muslim American citizen says he wants to honor he or she wants to honor the Constitution, obey the Constitution,
then they fit into the previous category where I said I have.
Are you not understanding what he said, you bearded dick?
To make sure that we're all on the same page.
Yeah, what page is that? The liberal CNN page? You fuckface.
Whatever religion you are, or if you're an atheist for that matter, you can become president of the United States.
Yeah, I'm glad we clarified that, numbnuts. Like, I'll say it again, I have more respect for MSNBC than CNN, because at least MSNBC is like, yeah, this is what we are. We're not trying to hide it. But CNN tries to pass themselves off as like neutral. And that's the other thing. How much do you fucking hate when you're in the airport and it's always CNN blaring? Ted Turner has every crowded terminal across the country. Well, I think it's Delta terminals, actually. Whatever. But that's my biggest fear, having to die in a crash. The last person I see on TV is Wolf Blitzer. Ugh, what a douche. But do you think he's black? Do you think he's Muslim? Do you think Hillary Clinton is a fucking criminal? Why don't you ask another Democrat that? I can't wait for this debate tonight. It's between that and watching baseball. It's going to be hilarious. Bernie Sanders, another one. He was on the Sunday show. He's completely out of his fucking mind. Pushing socialism, which has never worked anywhere, ever. But still, but I like his authenticity. He's a kind of a cranky, cantankerous guy who believes what he believes and doesn't give a fuck what you think about him. It really is refreshing. But I mean, you talk about a weak lineup. Oh my God. No wonder why they're praying for Biden to get in. All of a sudden, Biden's considered. He's lost twice already running for president. He's a fucking dope. I mean, you heard the comments. I wonder if Wolf Blitzer will say to him, now what did you mean when Obama first ran for president and you said he was clean and articulate as far as a black man goes? You think Wolf will hound him on that? Anybody? I doubt it. But, yeah, so watch that tonight if you have time. By the way, before I forget, this Saturday night, October 17th, I'm at the Gramercy Theater in New York City. Please, if you're in the area, please. I need a nice turnout. Otherwise, I'm quitting. I'm going to make canoes in my garage and sell them to the indigenous people. The 6 that are left. I need a nice house tonight, Saturday night. I really fucking do. Please come out if you're in the tri-state area or if you're up Lake Owasco. Come on down. Yes. Where else? I guess I should plug before I move on with the show. Right in the middle of the show. Probably at the end be the smartest thing. But also, then I get 3 gigs. Well, the 24th, which is a week from this Saturday, I'll be at the Sports Haven in New Haven, Connecticut. It's actually a casino. It's a nice gig. November 5, 6, 7, Magoobies, right outside of Baltimore. And November 12, 13, and 14, the Comedy Club of Jacksonville, Florida. And the 28th of November, Suffolk Theater, Riverhead, New York. Back to the show. I'll do that again at the end. The what else? Oh, the fucking, I was laughing at the Post. More left lunacy. Just fucking, the city, New York City, that has hired a group called Playworks to run, get this folks, to run recess at 5 elementary schools to teach kids how to play nicely. Under the program, students are tagged with tickles and no child is out. You're just unsuccessful in tag. You fucking believe this? They're monitoring. This is a feminized society. Suggesting that you have to tickle somebody on the shoulder instead of tagging them. You're going to tell me that came from a guy? Really? Playworks says it aims to ensure kids have fun, stay active, fight obesity, reduce bullying, and keep focused when back in the classroom. Yeah, that's what organized sports is for, you dick cheese. No need for government to get involved. Unfucking believable. You can't even make this shit up anymore. And then this finally we get some logic injected into the conversation. This PhD, Dr. Eric Hull, neuroscience at the University of Wisconsin, he said this is harmful to kids. If you go your whole life with imaginary life being given to you instead of creating your own, there's kind of a learned helplessness in terms of creativity. Exactly. I mean, you learn people skills when you're a kid, and you learn to organize a game or you pick sides or whatever, and and somebody might get their feelings hurt if the pick lasts or whatever. But that's going to happen in real fucking life. What do you think? Unbelievable. This is how much these people believe in government. Cradle to grave, literally. These fucking kids this is not even, they're like 6, 7 years old. And they're being taught that, hey, you don't suck at tag, you were just unsuccessful. Can't wait till they get fired from their first job. You didn't suck at being a bank teller. You were just unsuccessful. Unfriggin' believable. Why don't you let kids be kids? Let them grow up. Let them figure it out. That's how you learn people skills on your own. Somebody watching you every fucking move. Holy moly. I'm sure de Blasio has a fucking hard-on over this. Don't you? He's not even around. He's running around. But, gosh,
Why
help
is
us.
everyone so fucking stupid?
I have no idea.
Why aren't more people intelligent? Like me.
Like de Blasio. Yeah, that one just, they keep coming. There's stories like that. I could read 10 a day, you know? But it gets to the point where it's like, Jesus Christ. Just when you thought the insanity. Yeah, so we had, here's another one. And you can find one of these every day, too. Again, from the Hate America First crowd, as they say. Student suspended after wearing military memorial shirt honoring his Marine brother. This is in Gresham, Oregon. Dexter McCarty Middle School student Alan Holmes understands that his freedom is intricately tied to those who fought and died defending the USA. His older brother joined the Marines when he was 19 years old and served a tour in Iraq. But officials apparently don't share Holmes' understanding of the patriotic spirit and forced the 8th grader to change his shirt that depicted a traditional soldier memorial or facing... Forced the 8th grader to change his shirt that depicted a traditional soldier memorial or face an in-school suspension. He chose the latter, the kid did. The principal, I asked him, is this considered a suspension? And the principal said, yes, see you tomorrow. And so I left. The school officials told Holmes that the shirt was inappropriate because it contained a weapon and asked him to wear a school shirt. It had it was a T-shirt with a rifle. You know how when a soldier dies and the barrel's down and it's got a helmet resting on it, you know? But because there's a weapon on the T-shirt. Imagine these are fucking grown adults making these decisions. Unbelievable. Of course, the school officials, they wouldn't discuss it with the media. You know why? Because they know they're fucking idiots. And if it got out to the public, there'd be an uproar. It's unfucking believable to me. But these are adults. These are adults shaping the minds. It's just, I don't know where it's headed. Yeah, I'm 53. I'll be out of here soon when the shit really hits the fan. I might even be wrong there. It could be a lot sooner than that, the way things are going in fucking Syria, in the Middle East, in Obama's foreign policy. What an ass he has made of himself. Oh, he was on 60 Minutes. I was going to record those clips, too, but I couldn't. I was seeing purple. And Croft there was giving him giving him the third degree. It was nice. And he gets petulant, gets like a whiny little bitch. He asked him about leading from behind, and he said that Putin says that he's the real leader. And he goes, well, President goes, well, if you call running the economy of your country into the ground and then trying to prop up a dictator, you call that leading, then we have a disagreement with the definition of leadership is. And he goes, my idea of leadership is, leading the charge on climate warming or something like that. Oh. By the way, Turkey shot down a Russian jet. That can't be good. It's a proxy war. I hope you guys... It isn't full-blown yet, but Turkey, they're an ally of ours, and they shot down a Russian jet that flew over their airspace. Even they have more balls. We're officially out of the fight. Which is, I don't know, man. I don't know. I do agree that, like those Gulf states, those filthy rich Arabs, Saudi Arabia and Qatar and those countries, why the fuck? I read this, that Saudi Arabia has the third biggest defense budget in the world or whatever, military. So what do we, what the fuck are they doing? Nothing. They're doing nothing. But we can't just do nothing. It's unbelievable. Putin's eating our lunch right now. But he's worried about climate change? Really? ISIS on the fucking march, and yes, I have a slight tan on the back of my neck. It's so hot out. It's sweaty and oh God, can't grow corn and your mother's tits. Yeah, so don't wear any military garb. There was another story too about two girls. They were twins, and their dad's like I don't know. He's in the military. They had clothing with Air Force logos. They made them take that off too. Can you fucking imagine? No more Columbus Day. Don't wear any military shit. It's all happening so fast. By now, if in the perfect world there'd be a revolution going on, there'd be fucking. But flat screen TVs and very comfortable couches are going to keep us from doing that. And I include myself in that too. Nick, go out and fight. I can't. Fucking Nebraska, Iowa's on at 1:30. But yeah. What was the other great left Loney college story I wanted to every breath you take. Oh yeah, this was last week. I didn't get to it though, but Clemson University, it's in South Carolina. Every year they celebrate Mexican heritage by putting on a youth celebration known as Maximum Mexican Day. It sounds like a positive thing to me, doesn't it? Sound like that to you? The annual party is a favorite among Clemson students and faculty. It pays tribute to delicious south-of-the-border cuisine, as well as Mexican music and dance. Oh my God, how racist to celebrate another culture. What are you white students thinking? What fucking assholes are you? They're celebrating Mexican music and dance and food. Isn't that horrible, people? The annual party's a favorite among Clemson students and faculty, but it won't happen next year thanks to two students who took to Twitter this year to criticize Wednesday's event as culturally insensitive. They should find these two students and they should do a clitorectomy. Instead of approaching the students and listening to their concerns on an individual basis, while the vast majority of students continue to take part in the respectful event, in typical liberal weak-kneed fashion, Clemson brass shut it down completely. Clemson's University's Senior Associate Vice President of Student Affairs, Doe Hollenbach, D-O-G-H, I'm guessing that's Doe, issued apologies Thursday for what he called a flattened cultural view of Mexican culture. Oh, somebody should fucking beat this guy with his own vagina. He continued his whiny baby liberal apology with, "It is the mission of university housing and dining to create supportive and challenging environments that enrich and nourish lives." No, it isn't. It's to fucking hand out delicious burritos and enchiladas and drink a lot of beer. We failed to live out our mission yesterday, and we sincerely apologize. Ah, you fucking motherless fuck. They're celebrating. You ever have Mexican food? When I lived in L.A., it's as good as anything. Authentic Mexican food. And it really is delicious. It's fucking unbelievable. But did you ever think you'd see... here's the thing, and I've said it before. Other cultures, and here's we are as far as political correctness, they don't want white people... If they could have it their way, you couldn't even say the word Mexican or black or Islam. They don't even want you to discuss in any context. They would, if they could have their way, they'd outlaw you doing, even talking about it in a positive light, a negative, whatever the context. That's how fucking crazy it's gotten. They're celebrating it. They had balloons with mustaches drawn up, and the kids were wearing sombreros, and that's you're making a cartoon of okay, so what the fuck? What should we do? Put on 3-piece suits and top hats to eat our Mexican fare? It's called, I call it the term cultural bullying is what it is. It's fucking hilarious. They can't get Whitey out of here fast enough. I got to remind you again, white people are still like 66% of the population. So we know you're in a hurry, but you got a long way to go. But, it's the brass. Once again, the liberal suckers of Satan's cock who run colleges, campuses, they're the ones who shut it down. They just reflexive, politically correct reaction, just shut it down. Well, what if they said, fuck you? No, we're still going to do it. What's going to happen? You students have to take a stand, too, Two people complained. Two students complained. And that was enough to shut it down. So that's where we are. Two people can override, hundreds of people. Wow, quite a democracy.
Why is everyone so fucking stupid?
Because?
Why aren't more people intelligent, like me?
Hey, that's racist. He said intelligent. Yeah. Let's see Hillary out there again going, yeah. She keeps bringing up when she states what she's for. She keeps bringing up equal pay. That whole myth that women are not as paid for the same amount of work as men are. For those of you who want, you feminists out there who want that first female president, this goes out to you. What a sports weekend, huh, folks? One of the best ever. That's why we love October. Don't we? Don't we love October? I mean, you got playoff baseball, which is as good as anything, again, if you're a sports fan. Even the NHL started up, and oh my God, my Bruins are in for a long year. They cleaned house, you hockey fans. Got rid of Lucic, Dougie Hamilton, who I think is going to be a future Hall of Famer, maybe. And I don't know, they brought in a new GM, Don Sweeney, who's he's quite a he was quite a hockey player with the Bruins. But they got all these young guys, and they get beat by Winnipeg in Boston on opening night, 6-2. P-fucking-U. Oh, my God. And then the Canadians Saturday. I watched a little of that. Saturday was we came back from the Finger Lakes on 2 hours sleep. I nestled in like a paraplegic and just college football, playoff baseball, Bruins, Canadians. Unbelievable. And then, the NFL, obviously, on Sunday. But the college football is just so good if you know what you're doing and you know what games to watch. You know what I mean?
The hyperbole is done. Now we can finally play the game. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. One man.
Keith Jackson. Oh, my goodness, good ball. There's a fumble. Great games this weekend.
We're going to play football. Yippee!
Real quick, top 25. Somebody said they like when I do this because, I don't know, sometimes they miss. Maybe they're up in the Finger Lakes being kept awake by chestnuts, and they don't get to see some of the games. But top 25, Thursday night, Washington, who's unranked, goes up to USC and beats number 17 USC. At USC. Is that the coach? Is he the coach that stepped down yesterday? Because he's been showing up to practice drunk and shit? I think it is. Ohio State is number one in the country. They beat up on Maryland, and they're still number one. But they look weird. They don't... I mean, Maryland's a 2-4 team, 49-20. TCU, who, like I said, they were weaklings. Number two, they went to Kansas State and just snuck by 52-45. Whew. Wish I saw that one. Number three, Baylor. That offense, I think they could beat the Patriots. They put up 66 against a weak 0-5 Kansas team, and they probably held back on the gas pedal. I think they had 50 at halftime. Number four, Michigan State was at Rutgers this weekend. This is the one I watched. And great football game. Great game. Rutgers has got quite a program there. a bunch of criminals, but so does every other program. Number 4, Michigan 31, Rutgers 24. And it was a great game. Great friggin' game. I came home, I put on BC and Wake Forest, and it was 3-0. Get this, Wake Forest, with a minute and something left, BC drives down to Wake Forest 10-yard line. It's 3rd and inches, right? It's a 3-0 game, fourth quarter, only a minute and something left. 3rd and inches, they do a quarterback sneak, BC does, and they fumble. Okay? And Wake Forest recovers. And you're like, oh, that's the game. There's I think about a minute left, a little over a minute. Wake Forest, I think, runs 1 or 2 running plays. The guy fumbles it back. BC recovers. And then they have to rush to the line of scrimmage. A couple plays they can't get in from like the 10. And then it comes down to like 12 seconds. The clock's running down to like 3 seconds. And the BC's quarterback spikes the ball, but you can't do that. There's a rule in college. Under 3 seconds, you can't spike it or something. Game ends. 3-0. That was fucking crazy. California. They get beat by... California's number 23, by the way. They get beat by number 5, Utah, 30-24. Georgia Tech, Clemson all over Georgia Tech. Clemson's number 6 in the country. I'm surprised they didn't cancel the game because there was a big controversy about Mexican food on the campus this week. So I'm surprised they didn't shut it down out of respect for the young Mexican people. 43-24, Clemson. LSU beats up on a shitty South Carolina. LSU's number 7. They're always good. Half the team gets drafted. Arkansas, Alabama. Alabama's number 8. They 27-14. Arkansas always plays Alabama down. Big upset. Oklahoma, number 10 Oklahoma went into Texas and get beat by the Longhorns 24-17. 4-0. Florida, number 11 Florida beats up on Missouri, unranked, which they should. And here was a surprisingly close game. Florida State, who's number 12. You remember them and Miami used to be a killer rivalry. Miami's kind of been mediocre for the last decade or so. Florida State, number 12. Just got by Miami, 29-24. And then Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines. Remember Jim Harbaugh? He left the 49ers to coach at Michigan, who has been a really shitty team for the last couple of years. Well, he's got them... They threw their 3rd shutout in a row. That's fucking hard to do in college football. 38-0 over number 13 Northwestern. And Northwestern is not a bad ball club. They beat Stanford, and Michigan took them apart at the joints. Fucking Harbaugh. I don't know why you'd want to coach pro and deal with millionaire babies and assholes when you can be on a college campus surrounded by young people and 20-year-old cheerleaders and still make $5 million a year without dealing with fucking all those egos and personalities. And 38-0 Michigan over Northwestern. They were number 18. I'm guessing they moved up. But Harbaugh's got them. They look like the Michigan of old. Running game, vicious defense. Good for them. You got to have some teams that are great, if you want college football to be great. Ole Miss stomped over New Mexico State. And, New Mexico, where they just got rid of Columbus Day this year and for People's Indigenous People Day. So they took a beating from number 14 Ole Miss. How's Ole Miss only 14? They beat friggin' Alabama a couple weeks ago. Number 15, Notre Dame, stomps all over Navy, 41-24. Here's another big upset, folks. Tennessee, unranked, beats number 19 Georgia, 38-31. Georgia lost their great running back, Nick Chubb. But, of course, you know how Georgia is. One of those teams, they lose an All-American, bring in another All-American. Kid came in. I don't know if Nick Chubb is out for the year or not, but they brought in his backup. I think he had a good day. Semi-Chubb. Did you say that? Yeah, I did. Oklahoma State over West Virginia by a touchdown. Iowa over Illinois. Iowa's number 22, by the way. Oklahoma State's 21. But in Boise State, they're number 25 in the country. They stomped Colorado State. So, a couple of upsets there. But that fucking BC Wake Forest game, that was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in my life. So you had Oklahoma, I think that was the big upset, getting beat by Texas. And USC, you can't blame those kids. Their coach is I think I'm right. He went into rehab today. And, yeah, there were some good ones. And that's about it there. That's about it, kids. I don't know what else to say. You had the NFL. Throw to commercial. Back. Pushing the back on number 41. Punt team. This is watching the NFL on CBS. Touchdown, Patriots. Throw it to commercial. Come back from commercial. It's fucking make you crazy. But Giants pulled one out of the fire last night. Holy moly. I'm coming in a little hot on the mic. I just realized I have the shows out with about a minute left. Yeah. Eli comes up against the 49ers. Kaepernick look a little better. They ain't got much this year. That was a heartbreaker for the 49ers. By the way, last week, folks, I came in tied for first in the pool. I get beat on points by some lady. I had 11 out of 16. About 3 or 4 of us had 11. And when there's a tie, you have to get the total points on the Monday night game. And some woman came closer than I did. So I looked up to see if this woman, actually how she's doing in the pool. She was literally dead last in the pool. Just goes to show you. But Patriots, huh? Oh boy, you guys, you Patriot haters, you really pissed off the wrong fucking coach and the wrong quarterback, didn't you? And what did they do? Did they cheat last night when they beat the shit out of the shitty Cowboys? And in all fairness to the Cowboys, no Tony Romo, no Des Bryant, but still, huh? Did you piss off the Patriots? Fucking Brady's got a chip on his shoulder a mile high. He's throwing fucking darts. And their defense, here's what I'm excited about as a Patriots fan. For the last, going back to way back to like 2004 or 5 is the last time their defense would, at this point in the season, would be caught up to the offense. For the last 6 or 7 seasons, the Pats' defense, for the first half of the year, you're like, holy shit, we're going to have to put up 50 points a game. We always had like kind of a weak second. I don't see that this year. I'm more excited about the defense than the offense. They got rid of Will Fork, the Coke machine with a head on it, and they're much more athletic in the middle. They got linebackers that can run, and DBs. That Butler is showing that he's no flash in the pan, the guy that made the Super Bowl interception. But they look like athletic, and if they can stay healthy, he plays like 1,000 guys. I don't know. Anyways, they're 4-0. 4-0, and they're heading to Indianapolis next week. You think there'll be any hate there because of Deflategate? I can't wait to take the field and stick it up that goddamn Colts ass. Yes, sir. Yeah. And then quickly, baseball. What did you think of the Utley slide? I thought it was a great baseball play. Shit used to happen on a daily basis. But once again, I guess, I don't know, Joe Torre, maybe him spending all the time in New York City, he got that liberal pussy gene. He ruled on it and suspended Utley for 2 games. And I have no dog in this fight, Matter of fact, I'm pulling for the Mets, actually, against the Dodgers. But that was a great hard baseball slide to me. Yes, he started the slide late, but he was still within touching the base, which is the rule. So, and what's his name? Tejada for the Mets turned his back. He was making like a 360 throw to first. So he kind of left himself vulnerable there. And I thought it was just a good, hard baseball play. It reminded me of back when was it the Mets and the Reds, I want to say, back in the 70s? When Bud Harrelson, was that his name? The shortstop got into it with Pete Rose at second base. I don't even remember why, but they got into a brawl. I think it was a hard slide or whatever. But it looked like a good, clean baseball play. And I was shocked, I got to be honest, when they announced that Utley get 2-game suspension, for Christ's sake. It's only a short series. 2 games? That's a little severe. I know they're appealing today as we speak, so... but I thought that was a little harsh. I didn't think it should have been a suspension at all. You know, but once again, we got to protect the players, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we understand that. They're also getting millions and zillions of dollars a year. So you know what? Let them risk their fucking asses. But that's just the point, Torrey would say, being a company man. We have to keep the stars on the field. Whatever. I thought it was a great play. That's how Chase Utley plays the game. I don't think he's even a starter anymore for the Dodgers, right? That's how he plays the game. And that it changed the whole game. It changed that game, right? Because they scored a couple runs after that. That eliminated a double play. And it changed the series. Now it's 1-1, right? Was that game 2? I believe so. So I think it's 1-1 there. Toronto last night. Toronto, they were down 2-0. Yeah, Texas goes into Toronto and beats them the first 2 games. And then Toronto last night, the Bats came alive. Troy Tulowitzki, he is the fucking man, isn't he? Comes up and blasts one when they needed it. I still would like to see, again, Toronto Mets. So that series is 2-1, Texas over Toronto. And then the Astros are up 2-1. So, very exciting. Very, very exciting, would you say? And there's games tonight. You got the, you know what, tonight? The debate. If you're out of Ambien, you can watch a bunch of crusty old white liberal fucks. And that's what they all are. That'll be fun. That's it, kids. I got to believe. Again, come see me this Saturday night at the Gramercy Theater in New York City. On Thursday, during the day, I'm doing Colin Quinn's Cop Show. I did it last week. Got another whole episode. And I got a lot to memorize. It's kind of scary. You have a good scene acting, and then people want you to... But that's a fun set to be on. You know, Quinn. He's got this whole Donnie Brasco thing for me. That's friggin' hilarious. Yeah, and come see me at Magoobies, Timonium, Maryland. November 5, 6, and 7. Comedy Club of Jacksonville, Florida, November 12, 13, and 14. And Suffolk Theater, November 28th in Riverhead, New York. The comedy scene in Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Mass. How about that? December 4 and 5. Never been there, and I'm embarrassed to say that, as much of a Patriots fan as I am. But Hillary, good luck to you. Those big saggy bags, you fucking entitled criminal, you. And good luck with the Mexican food, Clemson. That is it, kids. Good song, isn't it? I'll talk to you real soon, huh? Nick DiPaolo signing off. Making a mess of this closing, huh?
Excuse me. I won't take all that they hand me down and make out I smile though I wear a frown.
And the president is a fucking clown. I go to town. I'm not like everybody else. 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 Peace out, kids.